Good afternoon. Today's Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. This is the hearing for the City of Tempe hearing officer. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'll be conducting the hearing this afternoon, and I'm going to read something into the record, so bear with me, and then we can go ahead and jump into our agenda this afternoon. The City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and the intent of the Tempe City Code and the Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include deteriorated pools, structures, or landscaping, storage of junk or refuse, and inoperable or unregistered vehicles. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain voluntary compliance with the code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the property. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property in violation of the code. On today's agenda, we have 4 items. We have a set of minutes from January 16th, 2024, and 3 property abatements. Any property owner who's aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on February 20th, 2024. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they may also be appealed to the Superior Court. A property owner has 14 calendar days to either file an appeal or to bring their property into code compliance. If neither of these things happen within the required 14-day window, the property will be abated by the city. To introduce a couple of individuals here this afternoon, to my left, Cassidy Hernandez and Drew Yoakum from Community Development. Thanks for being here, you guys. The first item on our agenda this afternoon is a set of minutes from January 16th, 2024. I had a chance to review those minutes before this hearing, and I think that they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to approve the minutes from January 16th, 2024. The second item on our agenda is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Yanez property located at 2117 East Howe Avenue. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Code Compliance Inspector Andres Lara Reyes. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Andres Lara Reyes. I'm a Code Inspector with the City of Tempe Community Enhancement Division. And I'm here this evening to request an 180-day open abatement for the property located at 2117 East Hall Avenue, Tempe, Arizona, 85281. This case was initiated by a public complaint on May 18, 2023, for persons living in vehicles and structures in the backyard, trash and debris, front and back, and inoperable vehicles in front and back of the property. I have inspected the property several times. 5 notices have been issued and 3 citations to the owner. However, I believe the owner is deceased. I have spoken to the grandson at least a couple of occasions over the phone and in person, have reviewed the violations with him at the property. There have been improvements made, an inoperable vehicle and a dead tree have been removed. However, as of this morning, the violation in the backyard remains for trash and debris.
Okay.
And we also continue to receive complaints for this property. This time I would like to present the photos as of this morning. And this is the backyard. And there's, as you can see, there's still violations for vehicle parts, appliances, trash and debris, bins, recycle bins. furniture. This is the facing towards the north side of the backyard, and it's towards the west, so it's northwest of the backyard area. The next picture is the backyard. Also, this is facing, this is the east. This is towards the east of the backyard area. And there's numerous, also underneath that porch there area, there's numerous furniture items and other debris that we can remove if this abatement gets approved.
So the blue trailer that was in the photographs I were given previously, that's been removed, right?
No, I was going there. It's in the front.
Oh, okay.
This is the east side of the front yard area, and it's for the most part it's clean. But this is the trailer that is in the front, in the driveway, it's towards the west side of the driveway area, and that's all that remains in the front. It's not too bad, but it's still, we can still work on that trailer and remove it.
Okay.
Nothing further. Just
Okay, thank you. So just to recap, you attempted to reach the property owner, Mr. Joe Yanez himself, but believe he's deceased, but had some communications with the grandson.
correct.
And he did a couple of things, but certainly not enough to bring it to code.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Yocum, is anyone on the line wanting to speak about this agenda item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
Thank you. I'll make a note that there's no one here in the chamber other than City of Tempe staff, so there's no one here to speak about this item. And just to clarify, you are asking for 180 days?
180-day open abatement.
Okay, thank you. Well, the pictures, I believe, speak for themselves. I think he made, a minimal effort clearing out a tree and the trailer or the vehicle, but certainly not enough to bring this property to compliance. So I'm
Correct.
going to go ahead and approve your abatement request for 180 days contained in application CE 233033. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is a request to abate public nuisance items at the Egger property. This property is located at 6249 South Parkside Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Inspector Bob Mannering. Is that right?
That is right.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. So my name is Bob Mannering, and I'm a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. I'm here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement for the property located at 6249 South Parkside Drive, Tempe, Arizona, 85283. This case was initially brought to our attention on October 26, 2023 for a deteriorated pool in the backyard. Excuse me. And while there, I observed overheight grass and weeds along with dead tree and branches in the rear yard. This property has had one public complaint, and I did have communication with the property owner by phone.
Okay.
I have sent 2 notices to the property owner, along with a notice was posted to the property. No citation was issued, as previous citations for this property was a failure to appeal by the owner.
Okay.
At this time, I would now like to present the photos taken today of the existing violations.
Okay. Thank you. So you spoke with him, I see in the notes, you spoke with him in November. He said he would get it cleaned.
Well, he said, I won't be back till Thanksgiving, and I'll try to get to it if I can.
Okay.
And that was the only conversation by phone I had.
And I see you gave him a 2-week extension based
Yes,
on
ma'am.
what he was saying he was going to do. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The first photo is, there we go, of the deteriorated pool. As you can see, the green and black algae sitting on top of it. The second picture is of the tree that's got dead branches all over it. And my third picture is of the deteriorated landscape Here's one picture of the overheight grass and weeds. And the other picture I have of that is the other part of the yard.
Inspector, could you go back to the second photo?
Sure.
And just repeat what you were saying, but to the microphone?
Sure.
Thank you.
So this is of the tree. As you can see, the dead branches that are on the tree that was part of the violation notice to trim that up.
Okay, and it's a dead tree, not dormant?
There's dead branches on the tree.
Oh, okay.
So some of it, ficus tree comes back, but there are branches on
Right.
here that are dead that need to be cut
Okay.
away from it. Sorry about that if I'm a little fast. Then, the last picture I had was the other part, the south side of his rear yard, where more deteriorated landscape, overheight grass, weeds, a couple dead palm trees on the ground there.
Okay.
So, as stated before, I'm seeking 180-day open abatement for the deteriorated pool, overheight grass and weeds, the dead branches, the deteriorated landscape in the rear yard located at 6249 South Parkside Drive,
Okay.
Tempe, Arizona 85283.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Yocum, is anyone on the line wanting to speak about this item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
No? Again, I'll note for the record, no one here is here to speak on this agenda item. So again, that pool more than anything concerns me. It's a health hazard, with the algae, and as soon as it heats up, it's going to be really nasty and a mosquito breeding ground, and it's just unsafe to have water that you can't see through. So I agree with your assessment. I agree with that the photographs accurately reflect what's taking place on the property, and you have tried speaking with the property owner, and even though he indicated that he would take care of things, he clearly has not. So I'm going to go ahead and approve your request for 180-day open abatement for the property at 6249 South Parkside, contained in application CE 232778. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last agenda item is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the 3J's Palm Village property located at 1090 West 5th Street. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Code Inspector Michelle Van Etten.
Good afternoon, Madam Hearing Officer. Nice to see you. As you mentioned, my name is Michelle Van Etten. I'm a code inspector here with the Community Enhancement Division with Tempe. I'm here to request a 180-day open abatement in order to remedy graffiti that's on the property located at 1090 West 5th Street here in Tempe, zip 85281. This case was initiated on August 21st of 23 when I received a complaint of trash and debris on the property and the graffiti. I inspected and found that the complaint was valid, that there was trash and debris in the parking lot as well as graffiti along the north wall, and I sent a correction notice out to the owner. I re-inspected the property on September 5th of 23 and found that no corrections had been made and therefore sent a final notice out to the owner. I was due to re-inspect on September 20th, and that would be the day a citation would be issued. The owner did reach out to me, and I explained that the violations needed to be corrected or a citation would be issued for the trash and debris portion, and he assured me that he would take care of the violations. But as of October 23rd, the violations still had not been corrected, so I sent out an additional final notice, and on that notice, I used the code that would allow the city to intervene and abate the graffiti if that wasn't taken care of. As of November 8th of 2023, the trash and debris was picked up, but the graffiti remained. And ultimately, on December 6th of last year, I went out, I saw the graffiti still wasn't taken care of, and I sent a notice of intent to abate to the owner. So I'm unable to issue a citation for the graffiti. The owner is obviously aware of it, told me he would take care of it, has yet to do it. It remains in violation and an eyesore for the community.
Right.
So I feel the only recourse at this time is for the city to intervene and abate it. I went out this morning and took a couple of pictures.
great.
If I show them to you now, please. So this is the north wall, as I mentioned, and I'm standing in the center of the parking lot where patrons that go to the businesses here would see. It's also maybe about 30 feet behind me would be the sidewalk, so all the passersby see it continually.
So it's completely visible from the public right of way.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And that's just a close-up of the same thing. There's still small remnants of trash and debris, which will get picked up as well, because that was part of the original bid. But thankfully, the larger items that had been in the parking lot have been picked up. So it's just a matter of the graffiti at this point. So again, I'm just asking for a 180-day open abatement for the graffiti at 1090 West 5th Street here in Tempe.
Okay, yeah, graffiti's tricky because you can take it away and then it can just appear the very
right
next
back,
night. So if, people have the intent to keep it there. Mr. Yocum, anyone on the line?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
Thank you. And again, no one here other than city staff, so there's no one here to talk about this agenda item. So yeah, I mean, it looks like the applicant has done a decent job picking up the larger items, but clearly, as you demonstrated, the graffiti is visible from the public right-of-way, so it's not art, it's graffiti, it is what it is. So I agree that it needs to be remediated. So I'm going to approve your 180-day request for the abatement for the property located at 1090 West 5th Street, contained in CM 231-675. Thank you.
Madam Hearing Officer.
That concludes our agenda for this afternoon. Any announcements?
Yes, Madam Hearing Officer, just the one. Our next scheduled hearing is set for February 20th at 5 p.m. That will be here at the Tempe City Council chambers, as well as held live on Tempe 11.
Great. Thank you. No further business. We're adjourned.